pointless as an excuse. We brought everyone we've got in the squad and we could only train with 26 people this week. We only trained with 26, that's all we've got left. And out of that 26, I would say 20 came down with diarrhea and vomiting in the week. Luckily it was post a session on Tuesday, so they spent the day off in bed. So for them to turn themselves around and dig deep as deep as they did, and to push a very good Stormer side, like I say, I've got nothing but pride for this group that I'm privileged enough to work with. We were just racked by injury and illness. That's the truth of it.
So, Coach, so what would you firstly take away from this game? Like you mentioned, all those challenges, the difficult things, obviously the traveling as well.
Yeah.
So what would you take away and say, listen, we achieved it, we ticked the box, this is something we can work from?
Well, we've had a couple of losses on the bounce, and sometimes when that happens, you can start to question not just how you go about it, but the togetherness of the group. You know what I mean? It can start to, it tells, when you have a bit of adversity, it shows the bones of you, the bones of your culture and of the squad. And the bones, for all to see with today, the ones of committed energy and enthusiasm and just get up and go. So that was the good part. There's big, obvious fixes, set piece, like 2 or 3 scrums second half, 2 or 3 line-ups in crucial areas, one that led to a breakaway try, you know, massive momentum swings, which would have meant, obviously, we would have drawn the game or won it. And again, at this level, you've got to take those opportunities. They're easy fixes.
Yeah, on a technical side, your breakdown was extremely good at times. I think your decision making, isolating the guys, attacking that space. Firstly, what do you think of that?
Yeah, again, like really impressed. Like the breakdown's always one of those areas that's just like it's a fair indicator of how emotionally in it they are. The collisions are the same. Like that's the one area of the game that is most affected by emotion, kind of motivation. So it showed where we were at that level. And obviously we had some guys who were just keen to make a statement, like Luke Dickey. I thought it was great when he came on because Creevy, both of them were good over the ball, and Curry led by example. And Sam Dugdale, who I mentioned before the game, you know, there's a lot of talk about the lads who were missing. And that's one of the guys who I think really stepped up again, very underrated player, but just a nuisance in the park, and he showed his work again today.
Just the last one from my side, your D from 9, when they played off 9, I think there was times a bit scattered, just in terms of that, and then I think they penetrated quite well. They had a lot of obviously dummy runners playing at the back. Yeah, just in terms of you, what was your message to the boys? Because obviously at times it was okay, and then there was gaps appearing. Just your message to the boys.
On inside shoulders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you could question whether or not that pack with had 3 or 4 lads who were kind of 20, 21, were underpowered. So we have kind of a philosophy like if you're gonna miss big. You know what I mean? Like just go for him, and then if you do that, you tend to leave inside shoulders a little bit exposed, as you know. But I will have a look at it since you spotted it. I think for the most part, like I say, you know, I don't want a tidy defence. It's not what I want. You know, everything's like nice and neat.
So you want effort,
Yeah, I want effort. I want people flying out of line and scaring people, and it's that kind of defence. You know, with people zooming past you, that forces the odd knock on, and there was a couple of them there as well, wasn't there? You know, off 9 knock-ons because they're just taking their eye off the ball and looking at the man that's...
And some good reads, eh?
Yeah, so again, I'll have a look at that, but you know, I'm not too bothered about missed tackles as long as the line speed, the physicality, the energy's there.
Coach, you also must be very happy with the fight you guys showed up. Every time the Storm scored, you guys always came back into the game.
I don't think we backed up positives all day, and that's the kind of the golden rule. And just to I guess to reinforce what you said, it was Sam James that come off, and like I'm dead proud of him. Like, we've got a point which keeps us in the competition in the pool of death, like crucial point. But you can see their mentality; they want to win it. They're still running out from the sticks. I'm screaming, kick it out, and they're like, no. You know what I mean? Like there's young halfbacks on there, so I've got to have a word with them first off because they don't listen to me. But yeah, just let the fight. That's everything. Like if you could have any one quality that represented the team you were, with that. No, you're all right. I'm waffling. It's good that you cut me off. Go on.
Obviously, you know, now you're not making excuses. The 20 of your 26 guys major issue, and I guess probably the important thing is to sort of ascertain where did they come from. Did you guys see
Ice, apparently.
Sorry?
Ice. Dirty ice.
Serious?
100% serious. I'm good friends with Andy Edwards, who is the head of performance for the SRU, the South African national team, and you all know him. And I was with him on Wednesday night, and he was like, this is quite a common thing for touring teams and in summer, stomach bugs, and his belief that it's in the ice.
Was it in guys go or training?
Well, I'm not going to make a big fuss over it. I'm not leaning into it. Like, I'm just proud of their efforts. And it's not an excuse. I'm not going to start to try to find them. You know, they came and they battled, and we got a bonus point and could have won the game. So that's I'd rather focus on the positives and what's happened in the week.
Coach, Ross Anderson did feel quite
Yeah.
What was the story there?
Tight, it's just calf tightened up, really tightened up, and they got worse and progressively worse. And generally, when you start to get cramped that early on in the game, it's probably a small tear. So I'll reassess that. We're now down to our fourth choice Lucid.
Something else. I mean, this is like what that losing sort of.
Well, yeah, but was it though? Because then Tumi Onisara comes on, who's this 20-year-old, 21-year-old Lucid who you saw. One was 19, the other one was 21. You know, scrummaging against like seasoned internationals, and he's got such a wealth of talent. This kid, all he needs is experience, and to some degrees, we know from rowers, their head shoved up their arse a few times to understand how they dig themselves out of it. And I said to him before the game, like, you're going to be all the better for this experience. Not the experience of coming to the stadium and playing the Stormers, but just playing on such a stage in front, against such good individuals. Because that's always the excuse, isn't it? I'm going to go for this guy. You've got equal talent, but he's more experienced. Now he's got that experience, it's less of an excuse. Yeah, he's got a big future to me. We've just re-signed him for 3 years actually, so I'm very happy about that.
Just touching on this question, I mean, wouldn't you say that the scrums cost you guys when Ross came off because you guys considered 5 penalties?
Yeah, I think it did. Would have cost us definitely. And we're a scrum like the Stormers. I think the Stormers are the most dominant scrums in Europe by way of penalties. We're at third in the rankings. So the set piece, coming back to that point, which was said, the set piece is king, isn't it? Like, you've got to win. Possession at source, and it did cost us at times, but not just the scrum, the maul.
Coach, you mentioned that you like to shout on the side of the field. Normally coaches sit up on top, coach's box. I mean,
yeah.
Is it a personal thing for you to sit?
I've got rugby Tourette's, that's the problem. I can't keep it in. I don't know how much you can see sat behind a computer, or if what you can see makes a difference, right? You know, a few choice words at half time, but I do know that, like, regardless of how they performed, if your coach is there giving you a handshake, giving you a hug as you're walking off the field, having a few choice words as you're running onto the field, that probably has a bigger impact, but it did for me. So there's that element, and you know, especially in away games, if they can hear me, if they can feel me, you know, aggressively energetic from the sideline, then maybe it just picks them up every now and again in the kick chase. So they're the two main reasons really for me staying pitch side.
Before this game in the week, you did mention that attack inside of 22 was a big work on, and physicality on defence. I mean, just an overall review on that.
Well, the attack was much better. There was much more flow, asked more questions, seemed to put up attack better. You can see that today, hence it was quite a high scoring game. Physicality in the defence, I thought the most part was pretty good. You know, soft try from the maul. And like you say, we probably missed a few tackles, but yeah, I thought we were able to look at the game like that. I thought we were pretty much even, if not dominant, in that area.
Coach, in terms of, I hear your passion, I see your passion, you want to get involved. Analysis, looking at the opposition, just from your perspective, how big is that, and how much time do you spend actually on yourself and on the opposition? Just in terms of.
My analysis is massive. Of course it is. You need to know what you need to keep, what you need to improve. Obviously we have KPIs and 2 analysts. You know, we spend 5 of us spend 3 hours watching the game twice, day after the game in our respective areas. We come together and we can slice, down to 2 or 3 points. That's just on our game, and then 3 or 4 games on everyone else. But there's a good body of research out there, particularly in the moment. The ability to thin slice, that as a coach or a player, if you've watched thousands of games and played thousands of games, you should be able to feel it. You know, the analysis, the stat analysis stuff, generally only goes to support the feeling. And as I say, you come at half time, you've probably got 2 or 3 things you can get across, most maximum.
Yeah.
You know, so what was, you're looking at the game, how that happened in the first 10 minutes, it's irrelevant by the second half. So you're probably working for working's sake. That's again another reason why I like to stay on the pitch side, because you get a feel better than when you're up in the gods. You can't see the little interactions. So analysis is important. I think over-analysis is something you need to avoid. You know, I think there's always a sweet spot between the kind of post-game analysis where you're pouring over videotapes, because everyone can be an expert in that. It's just time spent. But you have to do it. That and the ability to feel what the problem is and get to the root of it. You know, aside from the technical issue, like what's driving the technique.
The Stormers sent a fairly young team to Leicester, and they came back the following week and they trumped the reigning champs. You guys sent a fairly youngish squad here today, and they came away with a bonus point, and you have the champs coming to you. Do you see that sort of as some inspiration that the Stormers did it here? You guys came here, grabbed a point with a fairly young squad. Do you have the squad back home to take on?
Yeah, I think we do. You know, Cobra's research should be better next week of the neck injury. You know, he adds to the team. Dan Dupree is back fit and up for selection. He's a fair player. Tom Ellis, George Ford should be back. Tom Roebuck, who's on the fringe of the England team, should be back. So we've got some lads who can strengthen the team. And, you know, after the bitter disappointment of losing, and they are disappointed. They're down there. I'm like, be proud, lads, you know, for coming away with that. They are disappointed. After that settles, I think there's a lot of good foundation there to build on. I think the set pieces should be an easy fix, with it being a close skill. And we've got to go for them. Like, we've got no other choice. It's a knockout game next week. We win it, we're through, probably. But no point difference. Lose it. We've got an easier running at the end of the season. But I'd rather have an hard running, to be honest, lads.
Last couple, guys.
I was just going to ask if you
This is thorough, isn't it? These boys are
Thorough, mate.
good. I get nothing from this guys. It's all football.
I was just going to ask you touched on it slightly, but you would want the guys to have a tough run into the possible playoffs, and then that would set you up for the rest of the Premiership season.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, we've got a break after 2 weeks, for 7 weeks, a mid-season break, which we've never had before. So getting good performance, getting some momentum just before the break is crucial. But obviously, like, it means we go through in the pool of death, and I don't think anyone gave us a chance to that. That's proving people wrong. That's the DNA.
Just last question, just last one for you as well. It's your first time in South Africa as well. Besides the diarrhea issue, how have you guys found the week here and also playing in this competition?
Oh, not my first time. I've been like 10, 12 times here. Aside from the illness, we've absolutely loved it. It's such a brilliant city, such a beautiful country. Like, it's true. And all the lads like me, there's loads of that going around, isn't there? Good wine and stuff. So, unfortunately, I haven't enjoyed it. Well, they haven't enjoyed it as much as I have. But we're already talking about coming back maybe for a pre-season camp. I'm going to go and have a drink with John now and see if we can't start an information share. I'm very open to that. So yeah, quite jealous about the place that you live, boys. It's not bad. Hey, it's 3 degrees and snowing.
Cool. That's
Cheers, boys.
it.